Welcome to this episode of Shift. I'm your host, Palmonia Gordon, and today I have with me a co-host. Say welcome, Shay.
Hello, everybody.
My name is Palmonia Gordon. This is my youngest. This is my daughter, Shay, who turned
11 on November 18th.
so officially right now. I have a twin because her brother is
11,
until
December 31st.
so we just wanted to come in and chit chat, see how you're doing, how are you guys adjusting, being what's it like going back to school?
Well, it's fun. I actually get to see my friends. Much easier to do work,
Hmm.
and it's fun. I get to play outside without you nagging me to go outside.
See, when it's isn't it so odd? When they were home, I literally had to schedule I literally told my kids, get upside up get up in the morning like you're going to school, get dressed and go for a walk. As if you would walk to school, walk around the block, come back, then come in. And then when school would dismiss, you go for a walk like you would walk to come home. So she said I was nagging her. Now she's okay going outside with her friends. So I noticed you said something, it's easier to do work. What was the challenge in doing work while you were home?
Well, they would try to give us something online, and then I couldn't do anything with it, so I had to do it on a piece of paper, take a picture, and set it in. And
Why couldn't you? The devices didn't allow.
it just didn't. It just wouldn't let me do it because sometimes they would teachers would try to post something in class notebook. The whole class couldn't even get onto it.
So I mean, I'm not sure how many parents have had these conversations with their kids. The frustration that they feel, plus the parents, because like myself, it's learning to navigate devices and not being able to help the child because Shay is a lot better than JC. JC strives to get it right. And when he's not able to do it, then they get frustrated and I guess maybe somehow feel that they're failing, which they're not. It's just the situation that they're in right now and having to adjust. So what else is great being back at school?
Well, before we barely had anything to play with when we were home because we lost some of the stuff we were playing with since we have a small piece playing space. But now at school,
Playing space, she sounded Jamaican just now.
we can bring equipment outside.
So since quote unquote the quarantine or pandemic is at its tail's end, I'm not going to say ended, at its tail's end, kids are now in our area, they're allowed to take equipment to school or outside before they still have their little, what do you call that?
What do you mean?
That square?
Boxes?
No, I was talking about JC, that little square. They have a little square patch under the grass that is assigned for each class. What's it called?
A square.
Oh, it is. Their patch. They got a little patch that's where they have to stay. I mean, bothers me, you know. But the social interaction I know has been huge. I know for Jermaine, that's my 17-year-old, my third one. He's like the interaction of going out being with, he doesn't like being around people, that's the oxymoron of it. He doesn't really like being around people, but he wants to have that social presence to know. I guess it's the opportunity to have a choice of being out or who I want to talk or interact with. What else is great about being back at school?
Well, let's see. It's easier to help somebody during class instead of trying to figure something out. Because you can just go and tell them what to do instead of them trying to do it by themselves, and then you don't know, you can't see what they're doing.
So you still, I know my daughter is big on helping others, so you're still doing that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because today we had to use PowerPoint, and a lot of my friends around me couldn't figure out how to get to it, so I had to help them.
Yeah, she's good at stuff like that. Now, I heard someone ask a question recently that I'm going to ask, and I'm not asking so much for her. It's just a hmm. And the question was, how is it that when you go into a restaurant now, once you're seated, you're allowed to take your mask off, yet still the children go to school and they are seated, but they still have to keep those masks on? What's up with that? Isn't it time that they are allowed to take their mask off as well? And no, it's in a social gathering, because if you're out and you're in that group, I know at one point it was up to a group of 10, you're together, you can take the mask off. Why can't the kids take the mask off? I know last year I had signed exemption forms at school for my children to, I'm like, I know how it feels. I literally cannot breathe. And not on top of that, I look like Olaf the snowman when he's near the fire. I start melting. I wear glasses for distance. I can't see, it fogs up. Right. So I choose. I'm sorry. Right. So that's one of the question, and I'm asking for some comments and some feedback. Let me know, hey, have you thought about that? How is it when you get into a restaurant, you can take your mask off and sit down and socialize, but the kids have to go to school for hours and still having to wear that mask? Things to make you go, right? Anything you'd like to add?
Okay, so talking about that, it's because at restaurants they don't use all the seats. Specific seats, specific spots cannot be used, so that's why they only have a limited amount of people at a time.
No.
Yeah, some places do that.
Last year, before this year, when we went to Cloverland's party, we could sit down, we were right beside each other, and then there wasn't even a vaccine. Once we got the mask off, we sat down. She had like over 20, 30 people there. We just sat and we were assigned our seat. There was no gap in between. Facts. Okay.
Facts.
We right? So she should go and try to argue a point she didn't even know, because so I think I need to go to school and go ask Mrs. Thing, or hit up the Hamilton School Board, right? So HWDSB, this is a question for you. How is it that when you go to a restaurant and you go out and you socialize? Because I recently saw that entertainment facilities were back 100%, even though I don't understand how you get 100% if you're still social distancing. So since everything is back to normal, why is it the children are not allowed to take their mask off at school? And especially since they were never a big threat anyway. Okay, that's the question. Anything you'd like to close with, co-host? You can close out Shift for us. She's a big 11 years old now. How does it feel to be 11?
Well, really, mother? You about to make me do this again? Not today, mother. Not today. I already answered it once. I'm not answering again.
What would you like to say to someone out there right now who needs a smile, needs a friend, needs to know that things are going to be okay? Because that's what we do on Shift. We give them a little bit of hope and encouragement.
We have to trust in God, because God has a reason for everything.
There you go. Out of the mouth of babes. So thank you for joining us on this episode of Shift. This is not a typical recording. I had just gotten back from another interview, and I asked her to join me, and she was willing. So thank you for stopping by. Remember to subscribe, remember to comment, to like, share the information, and most of all, join us again next time. God bless you. We love you. Let's give them. Take care. Bye.